what does the army do? And if we look at whatever the army has been saying, the army is saying, okay, you seems like you are sidestepping some steps which are there in the constitution for us in order to enact whatever you want. Because this thing involves the people. So what is supposed to happen is we want a referendum. That is one of the most underpinning issues within this change of this constitution, which the army is now taking now a stance and saying, okay, we did that mistake there last time, and we covered it up using the opposition. Now we are in such a situation whereby now this guy that we actually entrusted is now actually making a coup of the constitution. So how do we navigate that? These are senior generals now, which will be questionable and which can even attract heavy sanctions on the country, not on the generals, because it will be done within the constitution. So to say whoever will go there and actually do that, if the people even actually stood up and said, no, this guy actually is actually violating our constitution, then nothing, I mean, the army will actually take over, be it even an opposition. That's why you find even Emerson is trying to woo the people, buy the people, do whatever with the people, so that there can be a division of saying, no, if I do this with the constitution, the people are saying this. This is what, look, everything involves the people here. If you leave that equation of the people and say, no, can they do this, can they do that, nothing will actually, we will never understand this. So what happens now if the army now finds that, I mean, the presidium is actually subverting the constitution, like in a situation where in Zimbabwe we no longer have the opposition, everything is being rubber stamped because
line up contribution.
Because I'll lose my train of thought. Saga, by the end of the day, we have to look into Guti. What is the role that civilians want to play in this? Are the civilians truly speaking? Have the voices been amplified? And can the army justify itself to say, right, we as generals, not even junior officers, we are going to institute this coup? And if we institute this coup, how long can the turnaround to return to normal democracy or civilian rule take, without actually antagonizing all the international community and further making the people to suffer? So basically, this is whereby armies will make a coup and say, okay, fair and fine, everybody on the round table, a transition. We used to tell you this, that we need a transition in Zimbabwe. Everybody goes and sits on the round table. So if we, the people, tell the amateur to make a coup, we are justified actually that a coup is going to be done because the president has sidestepped his powers, whereby actually the whole of the parliament and everything has actually been eroded by the presidential powers through corruption and throwing of money to the problem. And the people are actually against that. Then the army will say, okay, fair and fine, we're going to make a coup. How long do we need to turn around? It's up to the army now to say, right, we are going to institute a round table where we make a transition if we're going to have other democratic elections, because the restoration to democracy is very important. This is what counts now with the army now. That's why now they become the custodians of the constitution. So if Mnangagwa is actually if Mnangagwa is sidestepping the processes which are written in the constitution, if Mnangagwa is sidestepping the processes in the constitution, of which one the army is asking, is saying, let's do a referendum with the people and find out. Not with the legislature, because we know the legislature has been captured. Not with these ones, because we know that these bodies have actually been, the judiciary has been captured. These are things that we discuss here every day. And even the international community, even if they listen to them, they'll say, okay, the people have spoken here. And then this has been actually been instituted. To say the army can't receive...
the generals commit treason and we let them go scot-free.
No, listen, it depends, because we're saying the constitution is the people. If the people is spoken, it will mean that people
means constitutional.
Yeah, there's no illegality about the constitution. A constitution is there to restore order.
When
order, listen to me, when order, like what has happened in Zimbabwe right now, there's no order in Zimbabwe right now. It's a crime scene. And it's justified for the army actually to clean up that crime scene. So if a president is going to institute things which are not constitutional or to follow the constitution to ensure that he's abiding by it, the army is justified actually to make that to make what you call it a coup. Munangagwa is making a coup of this. No.
That's
Listen, it's
illegal.
treason. Yes, it's treason. Yes, that's why they've got the guns in order to prevent that and justify themselves. That is why there's a turnaround period of saying you need to go and sit down and bring in a transition, because you are saying that this one is irrelevant. So bring in another civilian issue, another civilian population, and go back to elections so that you can establish a democratic order. The army is justified to make a coup whereby somebody becomes a dictator, an oppressor, and subvert the constitution and start doing whatever they want with the constitution. The army is called, that is what the army is there for. It's unfortunate that, we don't have actually civilians within our army, or maybe elders within our army, to constitute the voices of the civilians.
Civilians are not allowed.
The civilians are within the opposition. Right?
Civilians are not allowed in the army.
No, I am saying we don't have where they safeguard the constitution as the army, whereby we've got selected civilians from the population. The civilians are supposed to be represented by the legislature, but we know the story of the legislature. The legislature is already captured, so they are not representing the wishes of the people. So in this case, whereby we actually don't have the legislatures in parliament, whereby somebody is changing the constitution willy-nilly without actually going for a referendum, which is a process which is actually accorded in the constitution, where you and me have got a voice to say, no, this can't go on, but wants to be rubber stamped. The army protects the country and it protects the people, and it has got that mandate to say, this cannot be done. And if it can't be done, then we remove you, we put a transition, and then we return back to normalcy by bringing in elections and stuff like that. It's as simple as that. That is why the army is there. We don't have to debate these things. These are simple. The army can make a coup because Mnangagwa is making a coup of the constitution. It's a vis-a-vis issue here. The army is justified.
Welcome to Zim One, a platform where every voice matters and every idea counts. This is a space dedicated to nation building, shaped by the thoughts, hopes, and lived experiences of the people of Zimbabwe. From the streets to the classrooms, from farms to factories, from elders to the youth, we bring together brilliant points from different gatherings of citizens across our nation. These are conversations rooted in reality, driven by patriotism, and guided by the belief that Zimbabwe's future is built by its people. Here, we listen, we reflect, and we share ideas that inspire unity, progress, and sustainable development. This channel is not about politics alone. It is about solutions. Not about division, but about collective responsibility. Join us as Zimbabweans from all walks of life contribute insights that strengthen our communities, uplift our nation, and shape the Zimbabwe we all want to see. This is our voice. This is our vision. This is nation building together.